Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. I honestly did not expect a lot of turn up today, but we'll go with whatever we have today. Hello to everybody. All four and a half of us. No, just kidding, just kidding. Hello to everybody who joined. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever holiday you're having. I decided to go a little bit earlier today than usual. I do think it probably will have a lower count of members joining in today because of that, partially. But hey, that's holidays for you. But still, I thought it will be very important for me to do this for those who do want to see and be more up to speed and sort of catch up on what's going on, and maybe have a little bit of a projection for what to come. Hello, Blackberry. First of all, hello, Useless. I hate that nickname. Hello to all of you. Everyone who's not saying hello, hello to you as well. Now, let's go over the usual suspects. I guess we'll start from the S&P and just kind of cover what happened. It's At first it seemed like a nothing burger, and at the end of the day, I would probably argue that it will be a nothing burger, but it did seem for a second there we had a little bit of that nice momentum, something we spoke about. We said this is potentially something we could see towards the end of the year, although rather tame with regards to the S&P itself. I mean, with all honesty, we actually thought we might see higher highs quicker, but instead we're getting kind of this, I guess the momentum is almost like dying down. We can see the curve is, well, flattening, if you will, at least for the time being, but then again, we are testing certain ranges, so it all makes sense. 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Actually, you know what? I haven't done the proper momentum thing that we usually do. Although we are at the bottom of the channel, kind of give or take, it does appear to be that we're at least temporarily right now kind of respecting it, but we are in oversold, having a bit of a cool off from selling conditions, basically a little bit of that bullish momentum, some relief, if you will, but it does appear that it will go into convergence very shortly, so probably will continue going to the downside. Which we see confirmation for in the 30 minutes, quite obviously. We can see that very distinct downtrend with clear divergence going into oversold territory, very clear. Let's be frank, that is very, very clear that we're having more or less selling momentum, at least for, I would say, 30 minutes. You know what? Based upon the 30 minutes, I would argue that what we're seeing here is probably the end of the session of today. And I think today's session is going to be, at least for the time being, we probably should be expecting that 6016 with the simple moving average that we're having here, and probably the 6000 area itself potentially could be a destination based upon how the momentum is rigged right now. Let's look at 45 minutes. 45 minutes, bearish in the home field of the bulls, but really we are seeing more or less movement towards the body below, well, at least towards the 80 range of the stochastic RSI, which warrants us to think one or two things. Either we're gonna have a potential sort of another rally, another impulse, if you want to treat it as such, and actually match our range, the 6050 range, right? That's what we can see on the 45 minutes, and so a little bit more bullish, although at face value we're bearish right now. So basically more negative momentum, right, than positive at face value, but we might see some bullishness coming in. What's up, G? Hello, Mamba. How are you doing? Johnny, good to see you too. And Nanny, is good to see you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. And by the way, I just learned from an Asian member just the other day that some of the Asian countries are also in some form of holiday. So it seems like everyone is in holiday. You get a holiday, you get a holiday, everyone gets a holiday. So yeah, that's I'm not surprised we have very low turnout today, so it's fine. People are resting, spending time with their families. That's what you all should be doing. And yeah, for those who do want to join, I mean, we're gonna do this anyways. Thank you, Nannies, for reminding those who want to know. By the way, Patreon coming up the end of this month, basically very shortly. Come on, Patreon, what's up with you? What's up with you, buddy? All right, there we go. So this tier, this $10 tier, which you can actually use this thingy, or actually on top of it all, there is this. Let me show you, all those who don't know or will watch this later. Oh my god, I think I might have forgotten to mention it. Although, yeah, it's not. Well, why would I? Of course, why would I mention it here? It has been not been mentioned here. It has been mentioned on Tom's. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that right now. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Here it is. Yes. Pardon me. It took me a second to find it. So there is this XMAS 40, right? If you use the code XMAS 40, you're going to get 40% off. And that is a discount that I'm currently running for Tom's Community. For anybody actually who wants to join, use the promo code XMAS40, one word, all caps, like that, and you will get 40% off for this subscription, which will be even a better discount than this. So obviously use that XMAS 40 rather than this, and will give you a better discount. You'll be able to sign up only for $6 a month. And what's important about this is that this tier will be closed within 4 days. So anybody who makes it in, congrats. Anybody who doesn't will no longer see this tier after the 31st of December, and only these tiers will be, only the new tiers will be available. That is that. Important to mention. Thank you for that, nannies. I appreciate you reminding me to remind everyone. Great discount, absolutely. Yeah, that's very important. Otherwise, hello, Greg. Happy Hanukkah. Judy, happy Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, or whatever you're celebrating. I mean, yeah. Happy whatever we are all celebrating. So let's go back to the charts since we've dropped all the. So what we were saying basically on the 45 minutes, it appears to be more confusing than anything else, but really it is in between, and potentially we might see another impulse. But let's take this at face value right now. Pardon me, we're more negative than positive. Okay, more bearish than bullish. 1 hour. 1 hour will be a good tool to determine whether the 45 minutes, the 30, kind of how we look at these all three time frames, almost as a continuous story, if you will. This is the bigger picture, obviously, the larger picture. Here we go a little bit closer, right? So we literally see the adjustment from 1 hour to how it's slightly more steeper on a 45. 30 minutes, it already has been penetrating. Basically, it kind of, we see signs of one another in one another, but we have to understand what it means in terms of time frames. Again, we can do a lot more damage if, let's say, we can predict a single candlestick as we analyze, right? We on each individual time frame. So let's say we can predict the future here relatively, or assess the potential future. And what we can see is what 30 minutes can give us, right? 30 minutes price action. Let's set this aside for a second and say, well, what we're seeing, we're seeing a lot more negative. And we're saying 45, 1 hour. What is 1 hour really? If we're saying we can assess one candlestick. So one candlestick is basically already two of these, right? So looking at the 1 hour, we can look basically further. It's less accurate, right? It's going to be less pinpoint accurate, but it's going to be forward further looking than the 30 minutes, significantly enough that this will represent one candlestick of the 1 hour will represent two candlesticks on the 30 minutes, and thus we can kind of look further, right? So if we're seeing this negative, and if we're seeing more or less confirmation on the hourly, that will mean, yes, that we're seeing more negative, and that will mean on the 30 minutes that this negativity will persist and will more likely drag us to the 6,000 rather than will get us stopped at 6,016. You see, that's kind of how we can judge how far we can go based upon the time frame. Now, let's continue. 45 minutes. Daniel K. Hello, sir. Good evening to ya. Casey, howdy, indeed. Howdy. Good evening and happy holidays to all of you guys, whatever you're celebrating. As I said, it seems like everybody's celebrating something, so happy holidays. I'll just say that, it'll be easier. I will secretly tell you that I kind of celebrate both, which is might be insane to some of you, but yeah, don't forget I was raised still in well, Russia, or at least Kafkaz, which is like was occupied by Russia anyway, so or it still is in essence. And so, yeah, I mean, I actually celebrate both, and of course, Israeli Hanukkah. I mean, I kind of grew up here, but I don't really look at this as a more of a religious holiday, but more of a kind of family-oriented tradition, if you will, if that makes more sense to some of you, because I'm not really a religious person. But hey, I mean, I do appreciate even part of the religious side of things. You'd be surprised. But anyway, let's go back to things here. Now, the daily is actually positive. I mean, it's positive. Let's be frank. It's positive at face value, and it appears to be able to drag it out easily towards the end of the year. What appears to be 6,117. What do we have? Like one session left? Literally, we're like one session away from end of the year. Boys and girls, help me out. We have what, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is a regular day, and then we have Monday. That's it. We have, well, 27th and the 30th. I'm not even sure whether we have the 30th as a whole day. Maybe it's like, boys and girls, can anybody check real quick, please? What does the schedule says about 30th with regards to the market? I would tremendously appreciate it. And so let's think about this. We literally have, I mean, the 30th. The 30th does appear on the chart, so I would argue we'd probably have it at least half a day. So we're left with whatever is left from today's session, which is basically 3 more hours, sorry, not two, 3 more hours. Not that much, and I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to be inching towards 6110 right here. As we can see, that level, the range right there, considering that we have some bearish momentum that it probably appears to be negate that, bring it down to probably 654. So what it appears to be that all in all, we're going to spend most of the momentum that we have right now, if we're not going to overturn on the daily, which we're probably not going to, because what we had here is not enough to overturn the grand structure. And yeah, I think we're kind of gonna finish up at around 6,000, maybe, or anywhere between 6,000 and 6,050. Doesn't appear to be that we will be able to drag out further than where we are right now, at face value, right? On the daily, simply because, well, we're running out of day, right? Like we said, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes away, so we're almost done. Of course, the market can surprise in the last final hour, but I would argue that right now we expect less of these surprises, simply because less people are in the office. Logistically speaking, if you think about it, there are less people to execute. More people are hanging out with their family, traveling, doing all sorts of things. In other words, they're not in front of the computer executing. The only movement we should and potentially could expect is from the institutions. Okay, and as this week is coming to an end and finalizing, we're seeing clear divergence on the weekly stochastic RSI, which all in all is already at face value bearish, and I would argue that it's probably gonna appear to be very iffy, very stinky, if you will, if you know what I mean. Most of you guys know what we talk about here. Towards the beginning of the year, it appears to be that we're going to be moving and having a lot more bearish momentum. In other words, kind of retaining this wedge we potentially spoke about slightly earlier, a couple of months ago, if you will, something akin to this, with some slippage, because we have been able to slip out further out. But all in all, we're kind of retaining I mean, midterm, if we think about it from a time point perspective, we are probably, I would argue that we're looking towards a negative week and potentially another positive week with some relief, sticking still to this wedge. And maybe so probably within 2 weeks, we're going to see the retest of these levels and see really where the market is planning to go. potentially maybe even earlier, right? But currently the structure, what it's showing, that we're more likely than not to stay in this sort of wedge formation and end up testing it, because the volume, momentum, everything that we're seeing all together is not bullish nor bearish enough to take us one side or another. So in other words, we're probably going to be moving sideways. In other words, a nothing burger. Final time frame we look at that actually matters to us right now. I mean, because we know everything gonna be basically reset, or not reset. I shouldn't be using the term reset. People might misunderstand me, but rather locked in within about these 2 sessions that we have left over, and potentially we might see the price action change, and we might see something very, very different than what we've seen so far. So far, some of these time frames, for example, if we're looking at the 3 months, the quarterly, the 6 months, they appear to be at face value very very bullish, right? But if we look at the biggest picture we can look at to understand what is truly going on, we're getting more of a negative picture, and we've been getting ready for this for quite a while. Is now the final moment where we see whether it's truly going to happen or not. I would argue, I mean, right now, I wouldn't argue right now this very second, but yes, we're getting closer and inching closer to see whether the market will be able to withstand what's coming, or adversely, we're going to have a lot more of what we had so far. We are retaining the bullish side of things, being above the 50-point mark on the stochastic RSI. We're more bullish than anything, but realistically speaking, we cannot ignore the fact of the matter that we're pointing towards the downside very clearly, and to change this trend, we'll have to have something humongous, just literally a white swan event, if you will, or just for Trump to be able to pull out some magic powder and just fix all the problems real quick, including inflation, and everything will be fine then. And yes, this will sort of change. Since that's not the case, that's probably going to continue, and in fact might even get worse. We have to be realistic about what we're seeing, and that is the problem. Most people don't look at this, first of all, because they don't want to see this. Second of all, because they want to believe what they're seeing. Third of all, because most people are not even aware that they should be looking at these things because they carry any importance. So the reality is that, well, it's there, and we can't ignore it, nor should we. We should take this very, very seriously. And I think that although we've been able to correct somewhat, I do think that very shortly we'll find ourselves testing that red bubble that I've mentioned just recently, within the ranges of 57. Am I saying that will happen, tomorrow? No, I'm not saying that will happen tomorrow, but what I am saying that based upon what we are seeing, based upon this, flattening of the curve and potentially even now steepening slowly towards the other side, towards the downside, we're potentially going to see a significant correction rather quickly. Even considering just the range as is, we are looking at 5,800, right? Testing the top of the range and then dropping back down to the bottom of the range will give us about 58.40, potentially maybe even 58.20. It depends on how quickly we'll be able to sort of run through and plow through this whole thing. Maybe even lower, maybe even seeing 57.90, 57.80 area. And that could happen very, very quickly. Why? Because again, if we're looking at the momentum as it's being structured on the 45 minutes, wrong tool, right here we can see that we're already cooking. We're getting ready to start overturning, right? It usually is a process. No one says it will happen overnight, but more likely that sooner or later, maybe even sooner than later, we will turn. Notice again the end of the year. So yeah, we might be squeezing some of that bullish momentum still, but eventually it's going to die down and drop us to the bottom. No mention of holiday hours on Fidelity platform for December 30th. I gotcha. So we're having a regular day. Now we might be looking at 2 days. Rob, hello, Rob. Tomorrow and Monday, markets open regular. Gotcha. So we have basically 2 days, right? As we said, we have 2 full days. It was the original assessment. So 2 full days, how much damage or how much can we truly realistically do in 2 days? As we said, probably not all that much, given that not everyone's busy with the market, not everyone's at the office. Remember, there are plenty of automated systems that are still in play, will probably do whatever they need to be doing and capitalize on whatever the market is offering. If we want to look at the 2-day chart, like we said, might be squeezing some more bullish momentum, right? That beautiful thing, just as we said. So giving it roughly back to that 161, as we said originally, right? And then we'll see. Then we'll see, because we're going to be smarter, because things will change. What we want to see is that year come to an end and will reveal the true sentiment of, I would argue, that what was or being hidden from us very, very meticulously through the last months. And I do expect that we're going to see a lot more bearishness quicker than people can realize that these sort of things happen in the market. Be prepared. Although we still might drag our feet a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. I do think once the administration change happens, it's not going to be all that. It will not take all that long before things will start overturning. That's just my own suspicion, and some of it that we're all actually seeing on the technicals. That's it. That is today's technical analysis of the S&P, boys and girls. Any questions? Anybody want to ask anything about what we're seeing on the other assets? Anybody want to, offer, ask a ticker, ask a question? Happy Chiburashka Day to all of you, to all of us. I guess everybody's more in listening mode, so yeah. We can go over the regular culprits. I mean, you can kind of look at Palantir. Palantir is, well, I would argue that it's kind of in between. It's not sure, it's going sideways more than anything. Daniel, yeah. We're doing, let's do SoFi right after this, so everybody's going to be happy. Ignore this as a project a tool that gives its own projection. I wouldn't trust it, or rather trust it with a very, very tiny grain of salt, or a big, depending on how you want to use this term. But I would argue that Palantir is slowly deteriorating and losing its momentum. It is in bullish territory, but it slowly is dying out and basically losing all that bullish momentum. Once it's lost, I think we'll be able to test that 81, 80 potentially. No, I would argue that 80 is out of the realm. Maybe with some slippage. Sure, you know what? No problem. With some slippage, we might be testing this, because what we've seen already is an action to the upside of the channel, of the trend, and now we're going to be testing, at least I would argue, the median based upon how we see the structure that we have in the upcoming days. We're seeing shrinkage. We're seeing that the channels are converging on one another right here. The bullish and the bearish momentum are slowly deteriorating. Well, the bullish momentum is deteriorating, really, the moving average. And so it's not going to be all that surprising if we're going to see the market end up retesting lower, simply because, look, we know how these work, and this is just phenomenal. And if we know that the market cannot proceed and extend this bullish momentum itself, there is a limit to how much Palantir can squeeze out of the ether, if you will. And more so when the weight of the indices will start outweighing, and now that the S&P is actually a part of the S&P Nasdaq, and we're gonna see significant negative effect on Palantir. So yes, boys and girls, now all that goody stuff that you were so excited about will be actually negative about Palantir. So be very, very attentive to what we will see in the upcoming sessions. Fuel cell, I guess that was that regular window we used. So Palantir is in very dangerous territory. Get ready for a change in direction. Let's do SoFi. Let's do SoFi. I have a lot of junk on SoFi. Actually, maybe let's retain some of this junk. So yeah, it appears to be that we're slowly moving into that. Again, my projection was as appears, just kind of like that. And we are kind of appears to be moving well, sort of weaving in and out of that projection. We're testing exactly as given to you that 1625. And have we actually tested 1625? I'm curious. We actually kind of slid through, but I would argue that we've tested this. This is a retest of that level anyways. Then we went to what I've marked as have I marked this? It appears to be, what the hell did I mark here? I marked the ranges that we potentially going to be moving within. I see what I've done. I've sort of separated it into a channel, and yeah, we kind of hit the upper limit, which I based upon this channel. Probably makes sense. 1660. Slowly deteriorating, losing your momentum, losing your religion, losing your momentum, and actually bullish, which is amusing. Bullish, amusing, but losing your momentum. And that's always going to be sort of the bigger picture in most of the tech sector right now, because if you look at most of the assets, we already have been out of most of the sort of shorter range channels, so it's not all that surprising that we ended up testing so much higher. But now we're starting to see the trend revert right at that 1625, which is the closest range. So if you're kind of objective about it, although I've marked this range, you can see what's going on here. It's that 15 to 1625 with some slippage. That's really what's going on. So we're testing this. We're testing this channel. This channel. Okay, cool. Alrighty, that's SoFi and Palantir for you. Ionic, let's do Ionic. Ionic, right? Let's do Ionic. Oh, oof. Ionic have gone bananas. 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 Something. Bananas. Okay, so bananas. What is going on here? What is up? What was that? Why did my thing just what? Take me to where the trend is. Okay, so I see. My projection was upwards. Slowly, we've gone upwards quickly. Cool. Right. I see that. Now, what am I looking at? That is bananas. Bananas. Many nanas. No data? No data. Wait, so let me look at this from a logarithmic standpoint. I'm just curious. Why is this? I mean, cool. I get it. Give me a different one. Give me a different one. That is you're in very dangerous territory, Mamba. Are you still holding this thing? This is in very dangerous territory. Given that it's so close to the 50, it might as well easily test 50, and given the fact that your extended resistance right here sits at the 51.63, there is high probability that this is where the market is headed, between these two levels. Kind of like that thingy. Okay, well, pardon me for being unable to have half a brain and just kind of do this, I guess. That'll be easier. That was obvious. Just let's call it that, and let's do this. So I would argue that the market is saying that it really wants to make it here. The question, will it? Will it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably, as long as you retain a little bit of that bullish momentum and still retest just one more time, on the weekly chart in the overbought territory. In fact, maybe even, I'd argue, but yeah, I think you have it. I think you have it in the pocket. Based upon what we're seeing in terms of momentum, it still can do that. But damn, you are testing the market, like really testing the market. I would be so out of this thing. In fact, I would probably be out at, I mean, yeah, where the range resides, I'll probably be out at 35. So, hey, I'm more conservative with that regard. Targeting 50 for, be very, very careful. You are so playing with fire. So playing with fire. At least in my humble opinion. You're very, very much playing with fire. Quantum computing or not, you're very much playing with fire. You're so close to just being pulled down before you have any opportunity to get out. Make sure you realize, or rather call your brokerage and make sure that you don't get that you do get executed even in pre and post market hours. That is very important. That will matter a lot to you. BA. Let's do BA. That's an interesting one. BA. A lot of people like to hate on them because of all the crap that they've been going through. And I like to remind people that they are in bed with the government. They have Phantom Works or something like that. Or Shadow Works, something like that. It's like the equivalent of Skunk Works, right? Lockheed Martin Skunk Works that are deep in bed with the government. So Boeing have Phantom Works or something like that, just for you guys to know. And they have been tasked with building a force field for the military. Basically, it's not a cash cow, it's a cash mammoth, right? You can basically, it's like you can feed the entire, I guess, village on for like a decade or so. I mean, again, you do you. This is not financial advice. Remember, we know all that. But, based upon the technical, we'll look what the technicals are showing. And I will just remind you that actually, if you look objectively at Boeing, opposite of the market, it has a ton of gaps. But all its gaps are on the upside. So, I mean... yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we're gonna look through this nonsense and noise, we might find a little bit of pain. And I know they've been going through a rough patch. I know, like, we have to acknowledge that. But it's goddamn Boeing, boys and girls. They're so deep in with the government, and in general, people like to hate Boeing because of them no longer being the leaders of aviation. I'll just remind most of you that we are all flying left and right. I mean, now people criticize them for a lot of dumb shit that they've done, and I agree. A lot of dumb and like just not proper stuff that they've done. At least we suspect they have. But I will remind you all that they are the same people who brought us from having like 200 aviation accidents a year to like 20 or 30. And we humans like to look at like, oh, why it's not 10, or why did you contribute to like 2 or 3 or 4 or even 10 of those, or maybe even 20. But they are the same people who brought it from 200 to 30 in the first place. Let's just acknowledge that, okay? Just saying. So, Boeing, as much as people like to hate on them, I do believe they are here to stay for the long run. And don't forget that in every submarine, plane, satellite, I don't know, quantum washing machine or something the government has, there are at least a couple of parts made by Boeing. At least those. So, stripping Boeing away from anything beyond their governmental contracts, I mean, sure, that will suck. But, it's Boeing. Just saying. And I'm not trying to defend, God forbid, them from all the crap and just, non-proper behavior, if you will, that they've had. I don't want to have penalties here on YouTube and whatnot. Um, so I mean, with all that in mind, sure. Give me a sec, Black. I will see what's up, what you're writing there, brother. I am trying to get to the bottom of what we can see on Boeing right there. Technicals are not looking good. I gotta admit. I mean, we are in positive territory. Sure, you can drag it out to. I mean, your SMAs here, you can drag it out to like 200, right? If it will hold this trend onwards somehow magically. But yeah, as I've expected. Once you have it's always anyway. So you're basically testing median and SMA on larger channel. You are really in around 180 to 200. We've seen both of those, and so this is kind of the range you're testing. And it's not going to be all that surprising if you will end up testing it just for a little bit until the market does take one side or another. And Boeing, well, being Boeing and being the market, I do think Boeing will be able to survive, sort of, not getting wet at all, and so expect probably 150. That will be your probable first range to be tested. That's a very strong psychological level. So then you'll be moving between 200 and 150, or maybe exactly those 180 area that we're at. Sort of the ceiling, what is now the lows will be the highs later, and then you'll have 150 as a support, 180 as a resistance, and then eventually, which shouldn't take too long, probably breaking down to that 130 and that 100, and this probably will catch up with your 100, so 100. So basically your lowest low on this is roughly 100 and your highest high is 200. Quite a range, I know. But that is probably where you're going to be thrown back and forth. Because again, it's Boeing. You will feel the pain. It's inevitable because it's Boeing and because the expectation of what the market will do, if the market will do what I'm thinking, right? So remember, it is predicated. A lot of these assessments are predicated on the market actually correcting to the downside, right? Meaning having a deeper correction. And although the stocks will be thrown around up and down, and will probably not go as low as we had during COVID, but they will probably go significantly low. Why? Because this process is about to be prolonged. This process is not going to be slow at all. It's going to be a very, sadly this time around, I normally what will happen in sort of when a deeper correction, when a true retracement happens in the overall market, what truly normally happens is that we have that first several steps happen a lot quicker, and sort of that what locks people in, and then we gradually find the bottom, and then we just sort of test it for a while before we're able to break off of it. And so most of the process will happen rather quicker this time around, I expect, rather than slower. I could be wrong. This could be a very gradual breakdown. But for now, it appears to be that it almost appears to be that it will just fall off a cliff at some point soon. That's what it appears to be. Quantum computing, yes, it's still holding some. Be very, very careful with that. All right, so we're saying, okay, right. 50. Why didn't I buy when the was when he had that was what was so what so hated. Okay, I understand the point, but you got me confused with how you wrote it. And known phenomena. Absolutely. Buying them when everyone hates them. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good assessment. That's kind of a good approach. Look, it doesn't mean that they are alrighty. Excel TV, yeah, sure. Let's do Nvidia in a second. But yes, Mamba, you are having the right idea about them. I do think that we'll see them being around for many more years. In fact, probably our grandkids will get to see them still being around. And so, yes, buy them when everyone hates them. Buy them when the conditions are painful. Normally, they're a good dividend asset, and I would argue that you should be having quite a bit of them, especially when the prices are low. That's kind of the way to the best way to make, the way you can make the most out of it, because then you're gonna significantly benefit when the stock really appreciates just in its own value, right? So you're going to get the benefit of the dividends, although we have not been seeing dividends from BA for quite a while, since, what is that, 2020, right? 2020. So, but sooner or later, when things will stabilize, you will start seeing dividends back again from them, and so you will benefit from the dividends and the appreciating price. So absolutely, buy them when people hate them. That is the correct approach. Unless you see no future for them either. Nvidia, let's do Nvidia. Nvidia is actually a good one. I would have wanted to do. I'm glad you've asked this, Excel TV. Let's see what really it has in store. I really wanted to check Nvidia myself. So Nvidia is doing this golden pocket, shorter range, no problem. Not that surprising, actually. In fact, pretty perfect, pretty picture perfect. Oh, just like we should expect it to do, with some slippage, of course. Of all places, testing the range. You're starting to show some cracks. Yes, our volume came down to a nothing. I mean, that's not that surprising. I told you, boys and girls, towards the end of the year, we're gonna come to a, almost to a standstill. You are still having bullish momentum, right? But it is starting to show cracks. Your current resistance is obviously 140.76. We've mentioned this before. Your upper limit would be 141.74, quite obviously. Lower support is 138.86. We've mentioned these before. 138.16 is the sort of that very next support that will stop you in case you're slipping. You should also be very attentive to the range. The range is also tremendously important for you, because I see a junction going on here between the golden pocket and the various supports and resistances that are in the vicinity, the 138, 86, and 16, as we mentioned, these two basically. So very, very much likely that the price range will be moving between these two, at least temporarily. So let's see what we see on the hourly. 4 hours. By the way, everybody, I'm so sorry for, let me clear my throat, for clearing my throat so many times. It's I just can't get, don't seem to be able to get rid of this, I guess, cough thing. But I hope soon I will stop making all these annoying noises. I promise you, it's annoying me more than it annoys you. I swear. This is not good. I mean, this is starting to show the cracks. So this is actually showing that sooner than later you will see some more of that bearish momentum, enough even to take you lower than that 138. In fact, probably will drag you down to that 135.64. We know 133, we have 133.12 there. So expect to see potentially these very shortly. And given this median that is sitting right neatly with that 133.12, I believe we'll see that very shortly. Given your 4 hour. If your daily starts deteriorating, I mean, right now it is actually testing these ranges and probably will continue. So I would argue that, yeah, that's where the hint comes in. So the daily will not hold. The 45 and the weekly are far more truthful with you. And since your weekly is already below the 50 range right here on the stochastic RSI, and all it needs to is just a little bit of more bearish momentum, and you're gonna see 133.12, just as I'm saying. And here is your channel kind of moving. This is your median. This is what's going on. You can see that clearer right now. And so yes, I believe you. I believe you'll see 133 shortly. Wait, is that? What is that? It's Excali TV. It's, oh my god, I'm a moron. Excali TV. Alrighty. My bad. My apologies. So yes, it appears to be that momentum on Nvidia is drying out, and you can kind of see that on the bigger picture as well. It's coming to an end right there. It's kind of curving rather than being steep. It's kind of curving, right? You see how beautiful your trend was right here. It was like running. Not what I was planning to do. You see how your trend was running like this, and now it's going more like this. You see what's going on here? Wink, wink. Do you think we will close the gap at 119? Yes, I do think we will close all the gaps, and I truly tell you that your current range that you're in is actually, first of all, there's like a resistance support there at around 117, 118, 189, something like that. Anyways, 115 as well. I remember you have something, but really, I can tell you that I already seen, and we've discussed this. The bigger picture appears to be, if compared, that you're going to test the 100 levels, the 91, 95, 118, like I told you. So basically, it moves with a set of threes. You have like three forces. You have a support, a median, and a resistance. Okay, so a range, if you will. And so part of these, and some of these ranges are not defined by a singular line. Some of the range areas are themselves are a range, right? So what you end up with is a first range, a second range, and a third range, right? So we've mentioned this. And the third range actually currently brings you down to roughly around 100. So be aware of that. 90 something, which coincidentally also matches as a golden pocket. That 95.41 and 91.12. Those who don't know, that is a fib retracement level that is very, very important. Very important, I tell you. And if the more you know about it, the more you understand why the market behaves the way it does. Very important. Yes. So Nvidia is slowly deteriorating. It's hard to see. You need to go further and further out into sort of looking at the picture from a further standpoint to see how the trend is deteriorating from being really rapid and to the upside to becoming very quick to deteriorate and sort of quick to go to the downside. So yes, that's what you have. Anything else, boys and girls? Any other questions? Any other tickers? Ticker. Tesla is in. I think we've mentioned this. We've said how we're going to be doing this diamond-shaped junction all over the place, right? We're going to be testing all over the thing, and we are doing it perfectly as expected. You can see we've went up, tested this range, went down perfectly to this junction almost. Now we're on the upside testing this area, and then it's not gonna be all that surprising if we're gonna drop back down to 436 and subsequently eventually to 414. This is where we have a significantly strong support level. So that is that, but it will be gradual because I think we first will have to break this channel and show that we truly have initiative and momentum to go lower. So it'll take a little while. Happy holes, happy holidays. Yes, Evie Bike Dude. Oh my God, I haven't seen you here in a while. I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, or whatever Asian holiday that's going on right now. Pardon me for my ignorance. I know there is some Asian holidays, but I'm so ignorant when it comes to Asian culture and such a moron, and I'm sorry. I don't know how they're called, but I know there are some. So yeah, there's that. Happy whatever holiday you're celebrating. Do you think we're closing? So I've answered that one. Is it not because just got too big to make this big move? Oh, that's an interesting question. I mean, not just that. If we're asking about Nvidia, when I said that I think you're asking about Nvidia, it's it's not that it's got too big. Well, the bigger issue with Nvidia that people don't realize that half of the price is completely inflated and fake. their GPU sales during the mining explosion were false, and you can look it up. Just look up false sales figures, Nvidia false sales figures of Nvidia during the crypto mining boom. Look at that. They said and actually allocate a lot of funds that they were able to justify spending because they were supposedly planning to do factories, and so spending a lot of money on planning and scouting and whatnot. There was some money that they were able to justify by saying, oh, we're moving towards opening a foundry, which they never ended up doing. There's like a lot of crap with why their prices not shouldn't really be as is. I mean, yeah, there's like a lot of bullshit, a lot of stinkiness going on behind the scenes with Nvidia. I'll just say that. And you cannot continue this growth rate. It's just impossible. It is literally freaking impossible. You need to have, and more so now with Intel actually coming into the GPU competition and offering very affordable, relatively nicely performing GPUs. Oh, Nvidia is into a world of pain. Nvidia is into a world of pain. There's like a lot of stuff that we'll see. We'll see. Nvidia is again right now. We know the level. We know currently the range we're moving in. We've said this. It's very clear and distinct, right? But how long? The question is, how long will you be able to retain this range before the shit catches up with it, before it's neck deep in poo poo, if you will. Evie Bike Dude, you also, like I said, happy holidays. Everyone who joined that were not here in the beginning, happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Asian holiday that I'm not aware of, I'm sorry. Kinda busy. You too, righty, thank you, sir. Diwali? What are we? Is this something you want me to check? And I'm being stupid to recognize it. No, no, you're probably talking about the Asian holiday. That's probably. Oh my God, I'm such a moron. It's probably I don't know. I'm so not knowledgeable. I have no clue. I'm not gonna lie. Merry Christmas, everybody. Francisco. Merry Christmas, my friend. Francisco, Merry Christmas indeed. But in the bigger picture, Nvidia can't go to 160, 170. Honestly, no, not as it stands. Nvidia does not appear that it can break. In fact, for Nvidia to break right now the 150 will probably require some freaking miracle. I mean, look, 150 is not completely out of the range yet, right? And given the channel, given the range, given everything, we can kind of scratch it. Let's say 146. But god damn it, 160, 170, I don't know what sort of miracle they need. They need to start handing out GPUs for like, I don't know, uh, one third of the price now, right? And for everyone to be buying them, and maybe a couple good new contracts. And you know what the biggest problem with having a contract with everyone? At some point, you run out of companies to have contracts with. So just consider that. Just saying. And Nvidia is kind of in bed with everybody and anybody at this point, so they're kind of screwed. Money is wrong. Like there's so many places you can siphon money from, you know. Um, Happy Hanukkah, absolutely happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, and we're targeting value 2. Just get what you need, not overspending on overpriced hype. Very good, EV Bike Dude. Very good. Very good. Very smart words right there. Bad words, gang. Happy holiday. I'm so sorry. Boys and girls, give me a second. Yeah, I had to clear my throat. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, I figured that's what you were saying. I don't know. I think so. I mean, I don't know. I think so. I think that it's a Thai holiday. So I have no idea. No, I'm so off. Let's do ACHR. Sure, let's do ACHR. Where am I? We're at NVIDIA. We shouldn't be covering that one. Let's just not break it. ACHR. Let's see. Orcha. Wow, the market, the entirety of the market is inching higher and higher and higher. If that is not a dead giveaway that everything's gonna go to shit, that is so. Yeah. Let's see what you've been having here. You're actually been slowing down, I see. You're actually been slowing down unlike the rest. So you got a little, you inched higher. You're above your resistance right here. This is not smelling good for you. What are you saying on the weekly, really? On the weekly, you are appearing to go for another impulse. That is pretty obvious right there. So another impulse. Let's see how big this is going to be. What's up with your Archer? Let's see. I think I've done the snail down already. I've done this before. I think I have. I can do extended or I can do just flipped. But yeah, I wanna let me just do this for a sec. I wanna have this locked like that. I wanna reverse it for a sec, and then I also want to have this one for a second. I wanna see what the market does with you here. Let's flip it normal. Okay, thank you. Alrighty, cool. Absa, freaking absolutely. Cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. 11, 12, 12. Yeah, it all makes sense actually. Usually you're gonna get these very narrow ranges, so get ready for a shitstorm if anything at all. 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 11, 12, 67. I'm not coming up with these numbers, and these numbers are far more devised by the sort of the out. Again, you guys sometimes think I'm effing with you, giving you these numbers. I'm not. I swear. Look, it's just that's how things work. Those who understand and know, understand and know. So this is obviously very, wow, this is bullish as all hell. Wow, what the frick is this? What the frick is this? You are so bullish. This is easily 1267. Easy without even trying. This is 1267 without even trying. This is this easy. This is this. Okay, you're bullish as all hell. What the hell is that? What happened? Did they like announce? I don't know, a miracle medicine to cure cancer or something? Did they like invent the moon, the wheel, the fire? What happened there? Bad Wars Gang. What happened? What did they do? What was it? The earnings? It was a good earnings call. What was it? I mean. The earnings call was a while back. What's the shtick? What brought you up like this recently? No, this is recent. This is old. What are you talking about? What happened? What actually happened that you're having all this bullish momentum? What is it coming from? And I see you wasted all of it to save. I see the shtick. I see. Regulations? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I see. The Bulls were able to outbuy the Bears, but this is, I mean, look, you still have a lot of bullish momentum, but how? Okay, I see. But what are you going to do when the market is going to drag it downwards? Let's see. I'm curious about correlation. What time was it that was dropped? That was high. 2021. What correlation do you have? Honestly, you might be actually deteriorating slower than everybody else, but then again, because of the very low prices, damn, you got a wide range though. Look, this is bullish. At face value, this is very bullish, like stupid bullish. Like I haven't seen anything being so bullish in a while, really. But This is also very abnormal, and the question is, does that follow the overall indices and overall market? And if so, when the market breaks, as we said very shortly, this will get screwed just like the rest of them. And in fact, if you look objectively at the price action, I would argue that you're going to be dragged down if you make it to this golden pocket, that 1267. Cool, you're lucky, but you're still going to be dragged down to that 544 area. This is a very, very, very likely area because you have the junction of these various supports and resistances, the median of the channel. It just kind of falls in line to where the market should be bringing you downwards, testing it. So I would argue that, yeah, like, look, I know that it looks so also great, but there is this very important thing. I wish Stonky was here, Stonks Tycoon, I remember here to be able to tell you, don't overstay your welcome, you know? Things are really irrational right now. The market have not been so frothy ever since I know it. And I mean, I've learned, I've studied cases over case studies, sorry, over particular times in the market's history. But right now we are really experiencing something very unique, and I would be very, very, very careful with any stock you're looking at, or the projections, the bullish projections rather. Um, Diwali was end of October. What is that even? Is that like whose holiday is that? Bye, V. Well, he's probably gone by now. Server AI people will pay anything for them. Um, unless they realize they're coming to. That's not always true. That's not always true. Absolutely, that's true. Yeah, useless. I hope that is true, and she had a blast. Would be no, no, Francisco. Let's do SMCI. I don't think we've covered them. Just in the last several sessions or calls. At least I don't remember, so I don't feel like we've just done them yesterday or something like that. So, absolutely, why not? Mamba, we've done SoFi in the beginning. SoFi we've done in the beginning. You'll have to rewatch. You'll have to rewatch. AR, that is quite a request right there. You want to maybe add 10 other tickers? uh, no offense, but I don't know if we're gonna get through all of that. There's plenty of people. Everybody deserves a little bit, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we'll do about that. SMCI. First of all, let's tend to what we're looking at right now, right in front of us. SMCI actually slowly starting to accumulate a lot of gaps on the top side, so it's actually starting to look very, very interesting. I gotta admit. Right, we had 10 to 1. Okay, sure. Right, that makes sense. Uptrend. So actually now on the daily, it appears that it's trying to pull back up. It's still going downwards on the downtrend, but it's trying to pull back up. So I'd argue that it's trying to retest your 40 area, right? Your weekly is showing that negative thing that we're seeing. Your weekly is showing that it is within a negative trend and was basically moving downwards. So it makes sense that it appears to be more negative than positive on the weekly. But really, I think you're gonna end up first retest. You're gonna end up getting involved right here in the overbought territory. At least that's what it appears to be like. Monthly is oversold, so on the grand picture of things, god damn it, you're gonna have some pain. I think we spoke about this. I think we've mentioned how SMCI is signaling is gonna have some pain. And that pain actually might lead you up all the way to, what was that, like 12-ish? I see the ceiling on the previous one. Oh, obviously you're going to have to test 22. Like, you have a whole wide range here, obviously. Here you're going to have a whole wide range between this area And I would argue, come on, what was that? What happened? This area. Let me just. Ha! Ha 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 ha! And I'm just being happy because I think I got a borderline perfect, if not perfect, from really far. It's like, I don't know. It's like killing like a deer from like hundreds of meters away. There you go. I mean, with an iron sights, right? It's just like, ha, yeah, high next level. Not an easy one, but yeah, sure. Anyway, so yeah, you have a whole range here to test. And it's not just that 32 and 22, you have a whole range in between. And I would argue that you probably have 30 psychological, 25 psychological, gaps left over, 28 as a golden pocket from a shorter term trend. So you have like an array of things to test here. And that all makes sense. I mean, when you're gonna get entangled within that level, you're gonna be testing the leaving bejesus out of it. Right now, you're not there yet. You're just kind of appearing to sort of do this, but when you will, don't be surprised if it's gonna get like really annoying and prolonged. Sorry, more like that. Sorry for me for being more like a stupid douche idiot. More like that thing, right? That makes a lot more sense. Let me take a sip, boys and girls. I am parched from speaking non-stop. I need a little sip. A little sip. Quick reminder to my non-Patreon members that are currently watching or will be watching later. First of all, Tom has, I know, a great discount on the Academy. I actually wonder whether it's still on. Check it out. It still might be on, the 20% off on the Roik Academy. God damn it, don't miss out on this. This is just pure gold. Merry Christmas to you all, fellas and ladies and gents and sirs and madams and boys and girls. And those who feel young in spirit. All of us. So, there is a promo code. Use XMAS40, like that, right? To get 40% discount on the Patreon subscription. This $10 tier, which will become $6 tier instead of 8.5, it actually instead of 10, it is $6 thing right now using XMAS40. I will put that in the chat right now just so you'll not get confused somehow like that. Use that promo code on Patreon, sign up to get the founder's badge, and will be grandfathered into this role for life. And why it's so important? Because it's going to be clocked on the 31st of December. Literally in 4 days, it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone and never ever going to be brought back. That's it. Founders are founders. This is it. This is the plan for now. Okay, so founders level is closing forever. Absolutely. Very correct. Founders are founders, and that is it. And the price will be different. I might bring this down lower to 20. Just saying, we'll see, but it doesn't matter. It's definitely not going to be 10 ever again, let alone $6 or $8.50. So lock this price in. Lock it in. It's very important. That is it. And by the way, I do have a discount going on for the academy, the one-on-one academy right now going on. It is 20% off. And yeah, it's just take advantage of this. There are several spots. There are actually 4 spots because one was taken already. There were 5. Now we're back to 4. Somebody might graduate soon. Doesn't matter. Don't miss out on this. These will be this discount will be off and locked by the 31st of December as well. That's it. That's that important stuff. All plugs, schmugs that we didn't forget. We mentioned. Okay, so we said SMCI. We've done SMCI. Let's go and see what else did we have. Archer favorite. I mean, no, I understand. Yeah. Archer has actually outperformed and I've noticed them, and we've have been covering them for some time here, but they truly outperformed. Bedwars Gang, you're asking whether you should sell. I mean, again, I cannot tell you whether you should sell. That's ACHR. It was right. I cannot tell you. This is not financial advice. But I can tell you that follow up on it, try to see and use the very same tools that we're using here on your own charts. The stochastic RSI on TradingView is free. And I will tell you that yes, 12-ish area does look very dangerous. Yes, it does look dangerous. Does that mean you should be selling? Maybe your plan is so much, outwards, and maybe things will adjust until you actually end up testing 12, right? And so I would argue re-ask me, unless it happens in an hour. That's going to be just mayhem, and we're going to have to truly assess it. But we understand that's not going to happen. But yes, 12 start to look like a very, very dangerous area. Remember, it doesn't have to be 1211. You actually have 1267, right? Which is the upper limit of that range. Which, in fact, probably I would aim at closing closer to 1267 or 12 and a half, for example, in my opinion, if I would have been looking really to squeeze everything that I could out of it, rather than 1211, because 1211 is the lower range. So you see, it's not straightforward. Consider it's a range. That's very important. I keep on telling you, boys and girls, notice when we're talking about ranges, and that particular golden pocket range, that 65.10, 61.80% retracement is tremendously important. I cannot tell you how important this is. I cannot just explain in quick words or a quick summary. I'll explain how important this level is, but it's pretty much the strongest, most important level you should be most attentive to. That is that. We've done SoFi. We've done SoFi, so now we're gonna do sound. Everybody want to do sound. Sound, starting to show as if it respects the channel, so I'm not going to be surprising that's going to be the case. Excessive on the daily, no wonder you're running hot. You're running very hot on this side of things. Oh, you're running very hot. Oh, god damn it. Basically what they're seeing is that the market allowed them more the squeezing of the lemon, if you will, almost to squeeze what is not really there, but the markets really know how to capitalize. The market makers really know how to capitalize very well, especially when the retail are buying into the sentiment, into the narrative. The market makers really know how to squeeze that. But you're running so hot. Ugh, this is just disgusting. Disgusting, I would argue. Let's see what's going on with this one. What did we measure? We measured, what was that? The original, and we flipped it around. No, that was not it. That was not it. We cannot measure that one either. And so, yeah, we're missing a fib here, I see. That's going to be like that. And, yeah, but it's going to respect that still short term. Okay, cool. Sure, whatever. No problem. Yeah, that's not all that surprising. Let me see. Let's just verify this just for a sec. I'm curious. My own curiosity. I want to satisfy the curious nature in me, if you will. Oh, enlarge this. Yeah, I kind of would argue that it all works perfect. This is shit. This is, for those of you who really cannot withstand the pain and really don't want to see all your assets being cut in half. You know what? Just let's do an experiment. Don't listen to me. Don't watch my videos. Let's try to find other proper technical analysts on YouTube, or maybe with your financial institutions, with your banks, but people who are truly reliable, people who you can rely on. Okay. And it's not about just show them my videos and what I'm showing here and what I'm presenting in this case, but ask them their own opinion about things. Let them show you and present to you the case and what we can see. For example, right here, I can tell you that we're probably getting locked into this wedge. How sustainable is this? How long will it be holding? Well, it depends. If the market starts breaking, this wedge, this entire thing becomes meaningless. And yes, currently that is the resistance. That's the natural support and resistance and behavior. That's the natural behavior of the market. It's like, you know, not to bring your kid to that, toy store, because you know it's always going to end up with a tantrum, right? Even if you're there just to buy a present for another kid, it's just going to end up with a tantrum. It's not going to, like, there are certain things that you learn about the market and certain behaviors that the market just has, and it tends to just, yeah, it's in its nature, if you will. But really, it's in our nature, and the market is just representation of our nature. And let's just, keep that one for real. And so, look, this is, as you were able to rally far further than normal, expect an abnormal correction. Simply. That is the simplest way I can describe it. And I would argue that most assets, as they appear right now, they are easily looking like they will be cut in half. Are people truly ready for their assets, their portfolio, to be chopped down in half? I argue that 90% of people who say that are not ready for this. Saying it and being truly ready and prepared and understanding the true repercussions of this and how it's going to feel, I don't think a lot of people are able to deal with this. Everything. That's the thing. Bad Wars Gang. Guys, everything we've been looking at, notice how out of reach and how detached from reality we are. From any logical estimate, whether it's by people who go more for fundamentals, which, by the way, fundamentals are technicals, it's technical fundamentals. It's just, let's not go into that thing, but the fundamentals of the company, basically, and just people who look at that, the more Toms of the world, the people who look at macro, we see that all over the place. People who are more attentive to the narrative, to the psychology of things. No matter where we look at and what we look at, we're seeing more and more signs that this is just coming. And the crazy thing is, people are really being misled by this Dunning-Kruger effect, where, well, they took this gamble and it worked out, and so they think they know what they're doing right now. In reality, they're just continuing to be lucky. This luck, when it runs out, they will be just as unlucky, if you will. Okay? Just to put it in a simpler the point of view. That was that. We've done sound. Yes, nannies, absolutely. Boys and girls, please put a star before the tickers. It really helps me find the tickers and your requested stuff. It really helps. I swear, it really helps a ton. All right, so AR31. All the Q stocks are actually following same crazy upwards trend after Google's quantum success. I would propose if you can do QUBT, at least. Absolutely, no, we can do even a couple of them, but I understand, yes, they will probably be following a very similar AR, I didn't forget about you, don't worry. And I'm not going to be surprised if they do follow a similar pattern. We do see oftentimes sector-wide movements or assets moving in solidarity with one another, being based upon something very similar. QUBT. Absolutely, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's start with your daily, with your 1 hour, actually. I don't want to start with the 4 hour. That's too prolonged. What does your shorter say? Yeah, you're definitely inching. I mean, okay, so for sure you're going to be doing this. The market really wants to go down. Test this. Is it sooner than later? Yes, it appears to be that you're kind of doing well. It's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing. This could be a very nice swing, right? But it appears to be that it's dragging lower, and so if anything of a swing is going to be like this. Oh, absolutely dragging down. Abso-freaking-lutely dragging down. But I think it's gonna go for a swing. This is so abnormally bullish, but this is at the same time. You know what? This is the beautiful thing. This is such a beautiful thing. I should use this as an example. And if you think, by the way, since Greg just drew this very neat line and everything needs to revert perfectly as he said, no. It might actually break above the 20, do some dancing around, as long as it will retain the below the 50 mark on the stochastic RSI, I'm certain you're just going to have another lower end like this, which will then bring you still back down just horribly. But why does that appear this way? Market, it knows. Everything knows. Everybody knows. Guys, look at institutional selling. Look what's going on in the market. But shit, this wants to go up. What the hell? Why? You started on the bottom. Damn. You know what? You know what? Take everything I just said about the QUBT with a grain of salt. This is very problematic, but I do forecast that you will have at least a correction. You're still gonna get cut in half with this. It appears to be. The question is whether you're gonna get cut in half by making 28 and then cut in half, or are you actually gonna get cut in half from where we're at right now? That's a very problematic question because you do have a lot of bullish momentum right there. This is still very, very bullish objectively. Where you have a blow off top right here and just shit the bed. I don't know, maybe? It's very hard to see whether that's going to be the case. And it's very, very difficult to discern that right now. So, but yeah, all in all, prepare for at least some pain in the short term. Even if it's going to not bring you below the 50, which actually going to make you bearish, you definitely appear to be forced to test at least that 80, and if you break the 80, you're definitely going to test that 50. If you test 50, you're easily going to back to that 8, 7, whatever you want to call it. Definitely don't forget you're going to have all the psychologicals, right? Don't forget you're going to have 15, obviously. You're going to have 10, so you're going to have this-ish, whatever, you get the idea. Call it 15. It needs to be 15. Damn it, why are you so annoying? Like that, you're gonna have a 10, right? Hey, wasn't it 15 there for a second? Oh, there you go. So you're gonna have all of these, obviously. You obviously have the 20 resistance in this instance. I'll just call it that, okay? Just sure. Come on, just be nice, manual. Screw it. Okay, yeah, you get that. You have a 20 there, 15, 10. And also, actually, you know what? Let's see what sort of structure does it have, and has any structure whatsoever. Let's see this crap. So it will obey. Wow. Right. Okay, remember, just dance. Smart asses. Yeah, you're gonna need both on that one. Definitely gonna need. Look. Okay, okay, let's just. It's the same one. Screw it. In fact, let's be funny like that. Let's do this for that, and this for this, and lock them both in. So I'm not gonna do stupid things. Oh, why am I not surprised? You see how powerful this level is, guys? You see how important that 65.1 and 61.8? It's important. Let me just tell you it's important. Those who want to know more, 101 Academy. time you guys take the, take the bull by the horns and stop jerking it around and actually progress your knowledge. And yeah, it's time you guys learn why these things are important. It's time to do the why. Why is important, boys and girls? QUBT, we said they want. Do you have other ones I want to see? Like QML, we'll see. Okay. It's gonna be good. I really want. Now I actually want to see another quantum computing ticker. I want to see another one. I really want to see more quantum stuff right now. Let's do something fun. Let's do this for a second. This is not what I want. Go away. Why is that even black? Let's just give me, you know what? Just give me this thing. No, this is definitely not what I wanted. Damn it. Ugh, what did you do? Stupid thing. Okay. But damn it, it was QUBT that we want to see. And we want to see... let's see, what do we want to see? QMS. Let's go with QMS. QMS. Wait, what? QMS? Didn't you say QMS? Oh, that's a problem for us. Sorry. That is a problem, unless this is... Wait, am I in stocks? Yeah, sure, I mean, it's also... Didn't you say QMS? Where was that? Where was your message? QMS, all quantum stocks, they are all going on. QMS, no, not good for us. Ionic, we looked. QMCO, let's do QMCO. I mean, what do you... QMCO? Okay, sure. Let's do QMCO. Okay. Give me monthly. And give me monthly. And so that was 09. And that was 97. Well, what were you doing just recently? I'm curious. So what were you doing right here? Not much. Okay. What were you doing at 2008? Okay. Uh-huh. Really? That makes me look at the thing from a whole different lens. Okay, so what was that? Okay, cool, no problem. 2 was down. There's a trick here. It's not all completely monotone. There's a lot more nuance to this. Right, which was because that was not related to them. On Russian we say "napravdu," to like signify truth, you know. You know what? Boys and girls, I think we might be headed into a deeper conversation about the ionics and various quantum computing plays in the community, because I'm starting to notice something that I haven't noticed before. And that rally that we're seeing in the quantum stuff might not be fake. There I said it. It might not completely be fake. We're going to have to look deeper and dig deeper into this. But I'm starting to realize something that I haven't realized earlier, and I'm actually starting to assess it not just based upon the very suspicious technicals that we're having on some of the plays. I'm actually starting to look at this from the historical player side of things, and I am actually seriously saying that, look, it doesn't mean there is no pain in the system to be had. Don't get me wrong. Don't. That's not what I'm saying. But this might actually be doing better than the rest of the market. I know. I know. We'll just 1 second, slime. Just hold on. I'll get to see what you're saying there. I don't want to jump, above people's messages and stuff. So we'll have to look at this. This is not a certain thing yet. We will have to look at this deeper. AR 31. This is a very interesting something that you brought and made me notice through your gigantic amount of tickers. QBTS. Okay, you know what? I'm just curious. Right. Wait, have I even chosen the right thing? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Okay, so sure, we want to go back into the channel. Gotcha, fair, no problem. But this doesn't have enough. I can't really rely. It doesn't have enough data. It's too new. Too new. I see. Yeah, it's too new though. I think in BTS. BTS is problematic because it doesn't have enough data though. So at least not for my taste. For what I'm trying to find. It's too new. Too new. But we'll have to look at. We're gonna do a Discord. I think I'm gonna dig deeper into this and see what I can find. And yeah, this is gonna be an interesting endeavor. This is gonna be interesting endeavor. KULR. Judy, don't worry, I didn't miss you there. Wow. Wow. Like Owen Wilson does. Wow. It's crazy how green everything looks like. Okay, so we've done the river. Right. Okay, I use that. Okay, that's sort of the only thing I have to. Well, I can, but screw that. Is that though? Was it? Yes, it was. Okay. I don't know if you can make it to that 6-1, Judy. I don't think you can. I don't think you can, simply because you're already starting to run out of momentum. All your channels are rather shallow and are not running that quickly. If anything, you should probably be expecting a retracement to 381. How quickly? That is an interesting question. How quickly? Or how slowly, rather? I would argue that within a time span of like several months. Several months, you will end up retesting. First of all, you'll end up testing 4 because you have 4. Because you have 4, and you have 5 as support resistance. Pretend they are, round and even, not without that decimal 0 1. Bum, 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 bum. This is, you're probably in the No, you're not. So where are you right now? I wonder. You're, and that is a level that's inside internal, maybe. You're gonna go to 4 and 381 still. This range has not been all forgotten, forgiven. Plus, you haven't really retested it. I would argue that this will take you several months, but it will end up happening, and then we'll be smarter to assess what what is going to do further from that. But right now, it definitely appears to be wanting to retrace you back towards these levels. Will it test 5 first? I hate to say that there is a chance to it, but it also seems that it's going to take so long that by then the market will probably start correcting. If the market starts correcting, by then you're not going to end up getting your 5 and just going to be dragged down back to 4. Really, you're far more likely to test 4 than get 5, to put it in simple terms. Although you're so close. It is, I'm so sorry. Yes. Because it's not really, you don't really have a golden pocket there to defend you, at least not a strong enough one. The other one will be slightly higher. And maybe you'll drag into it, but that 550-ish area, I struggle to see that momentum being enough for you. I really do. I really do. We check Palantir today. Yes, of course we have. Come on, Slime. What do you mean we don't? Of course we check Palantir. We check Palantir all the time. There's nothing special going on with Palantir, though. Yeah, I even showed this, that the tool thinking is going to go down, but I also said the tool sucks, so just kind of ignore it. Realistically speaking, you're residing on what we have here. What is that? That's that thing. Or is that? Here it is. Here. We have the proper drawing now here. Okay. So you have 8502, 8173. You still might squeeze to 89 towards the end of the year, that little bit that we said, that 90, but god damn it, I don't see you do anything further than that, and at that stage things will start reversing for you very, very badly. So Palantir, although bullish, we know that, we spoke about this, it still has this thing to do, right? It still can do that. But this is where you should reassess. And in fact, you should not even wait for the very last second. Again, to each their own, right? You do you, not financial advice. But you really are running a very dangerous, very major risk right on there on Palantir. Simply, if you look at things right here, you already realize how sketchy it's been. And yeah, like we knew that it might complete that, but it's far more likely to get stuck within the range it's in. Sure, but remember, all you need is just like a good, couple of hours to have a bombastic moment. The market go bananas, the market go banana back in, something like this. It's normal, that happens. And you can get easily your, what is that, 87, 90, 89. I mean, 90 really does look out of range at this point. But you can maybe do like 89 with Palantir. But yeah, it's starting to show cracks. And if it's even able to make it that far without the market just breaking, again, everybody who's running this are running a very, very, very are playing a very dangerous game. People are like, oh, should we short? No, I don't ever recommend shorting a good asset. And Palantir is a goddamn good asset. Don't short this, it's very risky, right? There's a big difference to buying insurance in the form of a triple Q and something like that, other than going against a very good company. Because even a very good company can drop slower than everything else, and then you're going to lose, all the wind out of your sails will go out, and you'll just end up not being able to take, sort of endure the pain, if you will. So don't ever sell a good company unless you really know what you're doing. Plus, again, not financial advice. You do you. All right. That's it. Sadly, boys and girls, we are coming to an end. We really need to adjourn this because we have a Zoom call with Tom shortly. Very shortly. Thanks need to drop. Yeah, of course, Bad Wars Gang. Of course. Everybody. It's like everyone and everybody. It's a mix of everybody. Yes. It is everybody. You do. It is in Arab nation, in Palestine. You say everybody. You say that is how we rule. Everybody. So everybody, I am sorry to tell you, I am need to go very soon. You also need to go. I need to go get a little something sandwich to eat before we do the everybody on Tom Zoom. But finally, I'm sorry again. I've kind of ran through whatever tickers I could. We're probably gonna do the rest, the ones that I've missed. I'm sorry. On the next one, WRD. I think that's what you meant. But yeah, again, that's next one. Plus, you didn't put a star. You didn't put a star. Not typical question. I was inside sound and I went out with 20% gain, and then I just it's just crazy went up. Advice to how to deal with FOMO. Daniel, come and ask me. I don't have time to break like these sort of methods of how I deal with it. Of course, you do you, right? You know what? Maybe it's a good question. Maybe you should ask that in the next live, and maybe I should break some of these down in the live. Of course, right now we're just running out of time. Actually, sadly, I didn't get to this question. It's a very good question. Look, you need to understand that I've worked in the industry for so long. Like, don't think I didn't have FOMO in the beginning. Don't think that I was not susceptible to any and all conditions and emotions and pitfalls and traps and all of this stuff. I learned the hard way. I learned by sitting there hours on end, making all the mistakes. First of all, if you think of all the possible mistakes, I've made all of them. Sometimes, several times, right? I learned about them. I learned why not to make them. It allows you to then to sort of combine to have this more or less. You just fortify yourself through these processes, and more so, I guess, the more you know, given how much I've been through and how much I've learned about the market, the processes, the tools, and all of that. Inevitably, you fortify yourself so much so that it is just a very different experience. Your emotions change. It's the same way you would have dealt with hardship the first time around in life, and then when that same hardship came around again and again and again, at some point you get that much better. It's a very good topic, actually. It's a very good question. I guess I have a lot to say about it. Again, dealing with it wouldn't necessarily going to be it wouldn't necessarily be the right way to approach it nor answer it. I actually see it slightly differently, but about how to deal with it. You don't need to have it in the first place, if you will, right? But yeah, no, please join the community. We'll talk about this. Finalist, shout out to the community. Join in to the Patreon. That final tier. Use this promo code to get 40% off. That is the cheapest way you can sign up. This tier will be closed off in 4 days. Once locked, will never be able to sign up for this tier ever again. It's either 15 or 40% off, whichever you choose. I highly recommend take the 40% off. Don't forget to get subscribed to the annual thing, right? It does work annually. The promo code does work for annual subscription as well. It doesn't have to be monthly. It works for the annual thing as well. You can go annual and promo code and all that great stuff. So subscribe to the annual, and that way you'll get the best discount you can have on the subscription. Then don't forget, of course, that everything is done on Discord, and so you'll need to join our Discord. And if you're interested in the one-on-one academy, which I have just this discount going until the end of the year, please inform me if you're interested, and we're gonna get on a call together. I'll answer all the questions. Don't miss out on this, because again, I don't think we're gonna have the $2,000 price anytime soon for quite a while, until after the year ends. Love you all. You all have wonderful holidays, regardless of whether you're having Hanukkah, some other holiday, Christmas, some other holiday I'm not aware of, or other holiday I'm not aware of. But all of you have a blast. Definitely spend some time with your family. That's the most important part and thing about this sort of end of the year tradition and thing. I wish you all just a blast over the end of the year, and to have great time with your families, great vacation, great all of that stuff. And I might not see some of you until next year. And so yeah, see you next year, and I wish us all a wonderful 2025. I hope. I mean, let's pray and hope that 2025 will be great for us all. Love you all, boys and girls. See you on the next one.